this is Laura from Doggy U, and today we're going to talk about problem solving with your dog's behavior. We're going to be talking about the replacement behavior mindset. We're going to be talking about how I solved a specific problem in my house, jumping when I got home from work. All right, let's go check it out. Problem solving is a really important skill when you're talking about dog training. But what happens with a lot of people is they think about what they don't want their dog to be doing versus what their dog should be doing. Let me give you an example. So in my household, when we first got Whip home, our little puppy, when I would come home from work, she would always want to jump on me when I got home. And this was a problem because I have a set of stairs that when I come in, so she's already at like my chest level. She's jumping up near my face when I get home just because of how our house is situated. So I needed to fix that problem. Now, the general population, what they're gonna think is I need to stop my dog from jumping. But that's not the mindset we wanna have. The mindset we wanna have is, what do we want our dog to do? What do I want coming home from work to look like so that I can train for that behavior? Not doing something is a really challenging concept for a dog to understand because you don't replace it with a behavior that's appropriate. So think about, for instance, if you're quitting smoking. A lot of people who quit smoking need a replacement behavior to stop them from smoking. So instead of smoking, they're now going for a walk or they're chewing gum or whatever that replacement behavior is. In the absence of all behavior, it makes them want to go back to smoking because they need something to fill that gap about what am I supposed to be doing instead of what I'm supposed to not be doing. The same applies for your dog, okay? So what that means is I need to think about, if my dog is jumping on me when I get home, what do I want getting home to look like for me? That's the replacement behavior mindset. So in my case, with my set of stairs, I want my dogs to sit politely when I get home. If I had a different situation with maybe I was coming into my front room with my kitchen where I had my mats or my climbs, I could send them to their climb and have them hang out there. But I don't have any climbs in the side door that I come in. So what I need instead is for them to just sit and not jump on me so that I can walk through, I can acknowledge their existence, walk through, put my stuff down, and then I can greet them. Okay, so that's my replacement behavior. It's not, I don't want them to jump. I don't want them to jump. But for them, it's really hard to understand that concept. So I want them to think about, what do I want them to do? Okay, when my mom gets home from work, I need to sit here at the top of the stairs to greet her. So that's how we're gonna train it. So when we first started, they would jump all over me. Actually, the puppy would jump all over me, and Jake, who's never been a jumper, would also get really excited and start to do like this hopping behavior that he'd never done before. So the first step to going ahead and getting to the behavior I want, which is your sit, is I need to make a plan. Okay, so for this plan, the first thing I needed to do is I needed to have some cookies when I walked in the door. Great, I'm a dog trainer, and most of the time I have a treat pouch on me. Check, got my cookies. So what I need to do to start with is to create an alternative behavior when I walk in the door that doesn't involve jumping. So something that they can do that doesn't involve jumping on me that kind of breaks that pattern of behavior. So what I'm gonna do is a cookie scatter on the floor. And I could stop there, but that's where I'm going to start before I get to the sit. So I walk into the door, I throw cookies on the floor. Now my dogs are busy picking up their cookies and they're not jumping on me. So we're breaking that chain of behavior that was causing the jumping. And we're starting with, okay, here's 4 on the floor. You're gonna put 4 feet on the floor when I walk in. Here's some cookies for doing that. Here's the scatter. The sniffing of the food de-escalates the situation. And now I don't have dogs that are overly excited when I walk in. Great. What's the next step? Now I can actually focus on the sitting, okay? So now I walk in and I want my dogs to sit. So my dogs have already had the experience of now the rules have changed. When mom walks in, she throws cookies on the floor. I should look at the floor instead of jumping for her. Great. That's where I want to implement the sit. Now the sit is a behavior they know very, very well. It's already trained in a variety of situations. When you're trying to replace a behavior like jumping, we want to make sure that the replacement behavior is fluid. So that means that they have done this behavior many times in all sorts of locations and they can do it reliably on cue. So now I have dogs where I'm coming in and I'm asking them to sit. Once they sit, I'm gonna yes and reward them. So now I'm just replacing that jumping behavior with a sitting behavior, and I'm gonna pay very generously for it. What I see a lot in pet dog homes is that people are really stingy with their treats and then they don't get the results they're looking for. I want to pay generously at the beginning of the behavior so that they understand what I want from them, and then I can fade those rewards. But if I'm not generous at the beginning, they're going to be like, well, jumping's way better. I can go up to her face and it's really, really fun. So they might regress. Instead, I'm going to pay heavily and say, yes, this is what I want right here. You're sitting. Here's all the treats for that. Yay, good job. And you better bet they're going to pay attention when that happens and start offering me that sit behavior. So first I'm asking them to sit, then I'm coming to the door once they have this history of reinforcement for sit when I get to the door. Then I'm going to wait for them to sit, and then I'm going to yes the behavior. So we go from asking them what I want them to do to waiting just a moment and seeing if they can figure out what they should do in this situation, and then I can pay for that. So that whole process for me took about probably a week or less of me coming in the door, and I maybe come in the door twice a day with them, with maybe even only once a day with them actually all out and not one of them in a crate. So it took me less than a week to fix the problem that I had been dealing with for 3 months before I realized that I really wanted to fix the behavior. So now when I come to the door, I don't have to knee them, yell at them, do anything that's going to, any aversive thing for them to not jump on me. All I need to do is wait, and now they sit. Humans are really prone, if they don't want something to happen, to start getting physical about it or start getting loud. Getting physical or loud doesn't really work in the long term, because where are you going to go from there? If you've gotten physical and loud, the only place to go from there is to get more physical and loud. And I don't want to be loud or physical with my dogs because I love my dogs. So I want to be really clear about that replacement behavior. I can avoid conflict with my dog and any fallout that would come from punishment by being clear about what I want, training for it, and asking for it when I want. So instead of, don't jump on me, screaming all of that sometimes happens when people come home and they wish their dog wasn't jumping on them, especially if they're holding a coffee or something, I can either ask for the sit, or if I've trained it really well, I can wait for them to sit because they'll understand that in this situation, sitting is the appropriate behavior that's gonna get paid. Now, eventually I might not always cookie them for me coming in and them sitting, but I'm definitely going to acknowledge it every single time. Not having food to reward your dog is not a reason not to reward them. There's lots of other ways you can reward them and acknowledge the effort that they're putting in. So it should be good boy. And you don't want to be like, good boy, right? Because that's going to get them more excited and they're going to jump some more. You want to be good boy and just reinforce that behavior. And then once you've walked in the door, maybe then you can get silly with them, get low with them so they're not continuing to jump up once you got in the door, but then properly greet them the way that you'd like them to. Because everyone likes to come home to a dog that's excited to see them. So let's let them be appropriate at the door, then come in, then be silly with them if you want to. This works in a variety of situations, this replacement behavior mindset. Another great example is a lot of people don't want their dog pulling on leash. If you don't want your dog pulling on leash, you should definitely check out our member portal because we have a couple great videos in there on how to get your dog to not pull on leash, or if you're in your replacement behavior mindset, to walk nicely next to you whether or not there's a leash involved. Right? So when you think about pulling on leash, it's the same kind of thing. It's not that I don't want my dog to pull. It's that I want my dog to be on my left side in heel position next to my left leg, right? That's what I ultimately want. That's what I want the picture to look like. Think about that picture of what you want in a specific situation and train for that. Don't just train for what you don't want. Having a replacement behavior mindset or training for what you want instead of what you don't want is a really powerful way to go about training, and it builds this really fun relationship with your dog where you're communicating well and they have a variety of behaviors they can do to help solve any problem that you might have. All right, guys, if you like this video, definitely give us a thumbs up and click that subscribe button below with the little bell. When you hit that bell, you'll be notified anytime we come out with a new training video for you to watch. And if you want to learn more about specific steps on how to teach behavior, everything from sit, down, stay, come, some service dog behaviors, you can definitely check out our portal below, the Doggy U member portal. You can get signed up and learn step-by-step instructions on how to do all of that and increase your training knowledge. All right, guys, it's been fun. Happy training. Pause it.